Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm back with another interesting topic, how to design chart of accounts. So most of us already knows that whenever you are creating a primary ledger, there are four C's, which is chart of account, calendar, currency, and subledger accounting convention. So chart of accounts is one of the critical C, which is required whenever you are setting up of a ledger. So one of the first tasks when implementing a new ERP system is to design the new chart of account structure. This is not an easy task. It all depends on various factors. So designing of a well-structured chart of accounts is like constructing a new building, and as you all know that we cannot construct a good building without a good architectural plan. So similarly, your implementation will not be successful if the chart of account design is not proper. So I have even seen some projects where users are not satisfied with the chart of accounts and new requirements have come up during a UAT phase, so which has resulted in total redesign of the chart of accounts, and hence it has affected the implementation timelines as well. So in order to design a proper chart of accounts, you need to understand the accounting requirement, taxation requirement, different business metrics, and so on. So and also, if your client is operating in multiple countries, you should also take into consideration the global requirement as well when designing the chart of accounts. It's always better to have various calls with the executive and management stakeholders of the client to understand all this your accounting, taxation, and the business metrics in order to design a proper chart of accounts. Remember that whenever we are implementing a new ERP system, we need to take this as an opportunity to even revamp the messy, outdated, and unstructured chart of accounts of the existing legacy system, and do not ever try to do a lift and shift of the chart of account structure from the existing legacy system. That is, do not just if there are say five segments in the existing legacy system, and when you are implementing a new Oracle ERP system, do not directly just bring over the same five segments. Try to, if possible, try to do a business process reengineering and come up with a better and good chart of account structure. Because like once you set up your chart of account and once you start entering a transaction, you cannot change the chart of account structure. And also we should define the chart of account structure wisely and use them to support satisfy the reporting requirement. And also we should be careful that we should not even overcomplicate chart of accounts, as it will become hard to maintain and use. And as I mentioned, that like once you set up your chart of accounts and once you start entering a transaction, Oracle out of box functionality do not allow to increase the number of segments, or it's Oracle do not even recommend to increase the number of segments or make any changes to the chart of account structure. Of course, there are some consulting companies who are available in the market who has some kind of solutions which are even vetted by Oracle, but that's a very complicated and big task, and it involves a lot of time to test and also a lot of money. So basically, we should be very much careful when designing the chart of accounts. So in today's video, I'll talk about what are the key elements to be considered in the chart of accounts design. So the first one is the number of segments. So you should carefully design the number of segments. So if you take EBS as an example, so in EBS, whenever you are setting up a chart of accounts, your company and national account, these are the two segments which are mandatory, and all others are kind of an option. So bare minimum, you need to have a chart of account structure with at least two segments. But I have not seen any client in my last couple of years of my experience wherein a client has gone with a chart of account with just two segments. Basically, balancing segment value, or sorry, balancing segment is one of the chart of account segment, and also national account. So basically, legally registered companies will be considered as your balancing segment values, and national account is basically whenever you are entering any transaction, you need to record them under one particular account, whether it could be revenue account, expense account, asset account, or liability account. And hence national account is also one of the important segment. And department, basically most of the companies want to do a budgeting at a department level. So obviously a department or a cost center should be one of your segment. And if your client is operating in multiple countries, or if the client has multiple kind of legally registered companies, so it's better to go for intercompany segment as well. So bare minimum, I can say company, department, national account, intercompany. These are the four segments which you need to have. And of course, your maybe you can have a couple of other segments like your product, sub account, region, country, etc., depending on your client requirement. And if possible, go with at least one or two future segments. So I can say at least go with totally, maybe it can be kind of six segments: your company, department, account, intercompany, maybe say product or sub account, any one of these segments, and maybe at least one future segment. So if future segment is basically you are just designating one of the chart of account segment as a future with a default value of say 000, and in future if you have any other new requirement, then you can start using that particular segment. And the second key element to be considered is the data type of the segment. So if you want to go for data type, is basically what exactly is the data type of that particular segment, whether the segment values can be numeric values or alphanumeric values, and so on. So basically, say take say company segment. So basically, company codes could be like say 10, 20, 30, and so on. But there are some companies who want to create a parent-child relationship. So in order to create a parent-child relationship, you will have a parent segment values as well. Of course, during a data entry, you will not allow a parent. Generally, the parent segment values are used during a reporting. So basically, I can take a company as an example. So wherein if you want to have the company segment values at 10, 20, 30, and so on. So instead of creating that the values as associated with that particular segment as the numeric value segment, go for alphanumeric, because in the same example, if you have a say a parent value of say North America, so in that example, so I just want to create a segment value, parent segment value, say NA stands for your North America, and wherein I want to group 10, 20, 30 these three companies under NA. And maybe you might have another say a segment value, say Asia Pacific or EMEA or Africa, and so on. So better to create the value segments as the value sets as the alphanumeric. And the third key element to be considered is the number of digits. So just decide how many segments should be the what should be the number of digits which are allowed in the segment value. So in the case of say company code, whether it's a 2 digits or 3 digits, and if it's a national account, whether you want to go for 4 digits or 5 digits and 6 digits, and so on. Okay, and the last one is I just want to cover the tips. The tips is basically logical numbering. So always ensure that you follow a proper logical numbering for your segment value. So again, taking a national account as an example. So just ensure that all the assets are created with a say with the segment values which start with say 1. So maybe cash account could be say 1000, your bank account could be 1001, and your say some other asset could be say 1002, and so on. Similarly, liabilities start with say 2, revenue start with 3, expense starts with 4. So that's the reason why we need to go for a logical numbering, is basically whenever you are running any reports, and if you want that run the report for say all expense account, it's pretty straightforward. You can include under say from say 4000, and then under 2 you can enter as 4999. So that should cover all the expense accounts. Similarly for the revenue, maybe 300002 399, and so on. So it is very useful from a reporting perspective if you follow proper logical numbering convention. And the next point is avoid leading zeros in segment values. Again, it's only just a suggestion, it's not mandatory. The reason being, if possible, try to avoid leading zeros. The reason being, whenever you try to export the data to Excel, leading zeros sometimes can get truncated. And the last important tip is basically proper segment value description. Avoid using a vague segment value description. Use a proper and meaningful segment value description. and also ensure that you assign a chart of accounts owner to keep the chart of accounts up to date with the changes in the business model and the regulatory requirement. Lastly, I just want to end this video with one of the important statement, that is, it is crucial to start any new ERP implementation with a well thought chart of accounts, because a well designed chart of accounts will provide a business stakeholder an actionable information in a timely manner. So the more the time you spend in designing the chart of account, the more efficient you will be in the long run. Thank you. Thanks for watching video. For interesting videos on Oracle Financials, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.